Good morning, good evening, depending on where you guys are at. Welcome to Bridie Straight Talk. This is Bridie Kelly, and I wanted to talk today about Event 201 and a couple of other things that I've come across. How many of you watched Event 201 all the way through? I did twice, but it was in the beginning of all of this, and I'm just kind of curious what the next phase is because we have literally been taken through the phases I remember. It's just, it's getting more crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now that the psychological warfare has set in the mental of folks, it's become behavioral to the point where not wearing a mask is making people even more crazy, willing to fight for it. It's just getting crazy. There's a viral video that was sent to me when I was out truck driving, and I had to literally stop and watch it twice. Excuse me. It was a lady in a Bed Bath & Beyond. Did you guys see that? It was a Bed Bath & Beyond. She got tackled by a cashier, and then another cashier, and then her friends screaming, and then there's cashiers trying to get the cashiers off the chick, then the chick starts fighting back, and then the friend of the chick, she's fighting, and they're trying to get them out of the store like they were the bad guys. I don't care who the fuck you are. You have no right to touch anybody, ever, unless you're defending yourself, and those two girls were in the right. They were bombarded for not wearing a mask. So it gets more crazy, right? You would think that this would have been the behavior, if this had to be a behavior. I mean, if this has to be something that people have to do, you would think that they would freaking do it 6 months ago. But right now, mandates, which by law they cannot mandate, which people don't even get that, they are getting more crazy now. To the point where I met some new people yesterday. I was sitting out on a deck and just listening to everybody talk, and we all started talking. They work in a restaurant setting, and they have to absolutely wear their masks. And then just the attitudes and the behaviors. Guys, this was psychological warfare. This was to get people, like in detoxing, I always teach everybody, within 21 days, you can change a behavior. This has been going on for a year. Just think about that. 1 whole year. People are not going to stop wearing their masks. So I'm at the gym yesterday. I mean, it's just been like this whole week, just showing me. Like, the universe is always showing me things that I need to talk about. I'm at the gym. And you know how you get on the machine where your feet are up here and you get your knees bent, you go all the way down, and then you push yourself out? Yeah, gets the hips and the glutes. Well, I was getting ready to get on that machine, and there was a lady. And I have been not saying a whole lot because I really don't want to affect people. Like, if people can't figure this out on their own and they're not directly asking me questions, I just, no judgments, just let people be. But the woman is freaking with a big mask on. I'm not even talking one of those pieces of underwear people are wearing. I'm talking like she had the mask. I took my beats out and I said, ma'am, can I talk to you for a minute? And she kind of, said, you are not getting any proper oxygen going on. I said, and what you're doing right now, you could pass out at any time. She got a little defensive at first. I'm like, Jesus, Bridie, why'd you say anything? Just let her do her thing. But I was so concerned, and that's the deal. I care. So many zombies out there don't give a shit. I give a shit. My family gives a shit. We start talking, and I tell her, I said, the whole idea of breathing properly is bringing in oxygen, and then when you breathe out, you're breathing out the dioxide. The bad stuff. It's in, good, out, bad, right? In breath, we even teach that. In meditations and stuff, breathing in the positivity, releasing the negativity. Well, she started becoming more receptive and found out that she just got her truck driving, her Class A CDL. And she goes, you know what? And I gave her my number. She's looking for a job. And she goes, I didn't realize how much this has damaged me. She goes, because I didn't necessarily believe in the whole wearing a mask is going to protect me, but it made everybody around me feel comfortable. How many times have you guys heard people talk like that? It made them feel comfortable, so people have obliged that behavior, whereas I don't. Is there just one place now? There's 2 places that I wear it and I keep my nose out. I actually had somebody, they didn't realize that I keep my nose out, and they were looking at me like, I just don't know why people keep their nose out. That's so disrespectful. Like, this is the mentality that we're dealing with right now. But it even gets more intense. As I'm hanging out with these people yesterday, because I just went for a job interview and I went to go have a beer, my older son calls me and he's like, Mom, you won't believe what's going on. This video might be a little long, guys, but you really need to hear it, so just bear with me, okay? He goes, we were just talking to the owner of their company that they work for. And he's like, yeah, he got his vaccination, the owner. And he said that he would pay for all of our vaccinations. And he was kind of getting a head count of who's all going to get them, right? And my younger son's one of the foremans or whatever. And both of my boys are like, hell no, we ain't touching that shit, you know? No, no, no. But I'll pay for it. They're like, no. He goes, well, if you guys don't get your vaccination, you have to wear your masks all the time. This is how stupid it is. The ignorance is immense right now. And my older son said, well, the mandate is about up in Arkansas. And that'll be at the end of March, is when Arkansas is supposed to be free and clear and you don't have to wear a mask. Which, guys, I'm going to tell you after all this, people are going to get into fights. He said, nope, you guys have to wear your mask even after the mandate. From here on out, you have to wear it forever. That's it. You have to wear it forever. I have literally sneezed probably 1,000 times this week. Pollen is already getting high. It's crazy. But anyways, so that's my deal. As usual, you guys always hear me complain about allergies, and yeah. But my son calls me, he goes, Mom, you won't believe what he said. Well, then I'm still kind of hanging out, talking to folks. I met some amazing people yesterday. The thinking, and it was all different kinds of people that were just hanging out, talking. People of lower income, people living what they consider middle class, which I kind of clarified that yesterday. You know, you guys, I had to do it. And all different kinds of backgrounds. And they were all saying this never made any sense, and I was just really proud of them. But then my younger son calls me. He's like, you won't believe what just happened. And I said, what? He goes, went to the liquor store because one of his guys doesn't have a car. So he was taking them to the liquor store to get them whatever they wanted and then driving them back home or whatever after work. And he goes, we went into the store and the guy said, where's your masks? And they said, we don't have to. My older son tried something new. He didn't say exempt. He said, well, I got my vax. And the guy goes, if you don't put a freaking mask on, I guess he was very up in their face. And he said, if you guys don't put a freaking mask on, we will not be serving you. And both of my boys looked at the dude and were like, are you freaking serious? And he's like, yeah, Rogers, Arkansas. Buster's liquor store, by the way, if anybody wants to know. I will be putting that out everywhere, hoping that people do not give them any business, but because that's how I work. But it was very confrontational, and the guy was very much into their space. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to maybe box or whatever. It was that confrontational kind of feeling. And the boys obviously didn't get what they wanted to get or whatever, and they left. And then my son's telling me how bad it was, how confrontational it was. And he's like, this doesn't make any sense because we're getting close to this not even being an issue anymore, and people are acting more crazy. Well, the reason people are acting so goddamn crazy is because, as I've told you guys, I know somebody who was in the military, and he told me that they were actually practicing this shit. It is psychological warfare. And so many people will do what they're told to get along. I find it so interesting when I do see people questioning it. The energetic spirit that I see in the people that are truly questioning it and being rebellious, their spirit level is high. And then I see these people walking around with these masks and their energetic spirit level, and that's what I'm gonna start calling it, because I can see different, how would you say, the amount of power coming from their spirit. And I find the ones that are really being rebellious about this, you can feel it. Their spirit's strong. Then you've got people out there, which I've had a couple in my life, who follow me around and do what I do because they're just little followers. They're not critically thinking, they're just following, which in a way is kind of good because maybe they'll start doing their own trip, you know? A lot of people ask me, they're like, why is it that some of us seem to be more awake than others? It is how much spirit you have left. How connected are you to Mother Earth and the universe? And everybody has their own different connections, right? I mean, some people seem to feel, my sister, she feels more earth-based. She feels more connected to the trees and the animals, and that's what brings her life. She loves to go hiking, and she loves, I've never been, but she loves those big red, what are they called? The big cedars or whatever out by Oregon. That's her favorite place. Then there's some people like me that feel more connected to the stars and the planets, and you just don't feel like you belong here, right? Which I'll get into all that later. But it is a power in our spirit. Some people have lost their spirit so much that they are getting the vaccinations and they are still wearing their masks. And when the mandate's over, people are going to fight to want you to wear your masks. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, we're over this. And those people might not even be that awake, but they're just glad it's over, right? You're still going to have a lot. I'm talking a high percentage of people that are still freaking, they're so conditioned now that they have to wear that mask, that if they see you without the mask, which it's going to be interesting to watch this, they are going to start on the attack. I wish everybody the best on this, because honestly, when I saw that video about the chicks in Bed Bath & Beyond, I thought, you know, and I'm from California, and I grew up pretty hard. But I was thinking, man, them bitches wouldn't have got me down like that. It would have been on. Right? Isn't that how we are? People say, you shouldn't fight. You should not fight with people. That was the new age kind of shit. Right? Be docile. Be, like my sister will say, be like water and flow. But she's not necessarily talking about not defending herself, because I know she would. But there's all these things that people have gotten conditioned with religion and everything, where you don't defend yourself and you don't have a voice. You just go along to get along, right? I'm just going to go along and get along so everybody's comfortable. I don't like confrontations. I don't like them either. I hate them. But if we don't stick up for ourselves, if we don't voice our opinions and our perceptions, what are we here for? They're getting rid of Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head. And somebody sent me something about the Looney Tunes. Okay, yes, you know what? I know things about those particular things, not so much Mr. Potato Head and Dr. Seuss, but Looney Tunes and Disney and stuff like that. There is a lot of sexual stuff that they put in that stuff to get into the brain of young children. You know, Disney was sick. He was a sick guy. And he was all about the Masonic Lodge and doing what they wanted him to do. Very Luciferian kind of stuff. And you guys might want to look that up and, you know, get educated on that, because I'm really tired of the ignorance. But it's literally, I think I've lost my track right now, but it's literally blowing my mind that now people are actually willing to really fight for the masks when it's going to go away. And, oh, I know what it was. We have all these things being taken away from us because we can't talk because everybody's a fucking pussy. And yeah, you guys know how my videos are. I'm just going to speak my mind, but one of the people that was out on the deck for a short period of time was a gay girl. And, you know, I always say it's because I'm from California, but anywhere, I don't know why anybody would have a judgment. You know, it's usually religious people that do. And she was sweet, and we talked. And she's telling me about all the incidences in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where people, you know, threw things. And I don't get that. I just don't get what people are willing to fight for. People won't fight for their rights in this, I mean, it's getting so communist now, but people won't fight for their rights right now.